What's going on, everybody? It is Buddha Black with Space Dawn Productions. Now, see, I've been of a mind to change the programming of Space Dawn Incorporated, and seeing as how my medium has led me towards more social commentating, that's what I believe I'm going to plan to do from now on. And that being said, this video is going to be about your one and only Steven Crowder. Specifically, the video he just made about the situation with the cops and how... well, we'll just see the video. Let's start, shall we? Not gonna hold y'all.
Officer was committing before he fired his gun. Okay, for kids watching, this is probably not for you. 3, 2, that's out of the way.
I'm gonna try not to stop as much as I possibly can.
Felony murder, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
Nope, you got charged with felony fucking murder.
We have a show tonight, we have Jocko Willing coming on, we'll talk about all this, and we have clips. I'm sorry, I just couldn't wait. I don't know, I had a pit in my stomach last night. I was physically sick to my stomach, and I woke up
Steven Crowder is sick to his stomach
this morning. And by the way, it doesn't mean that we weren't sick to our stomach when we saw the George Floyd video, because we all did, but felony murder for officer, I think it's Garrett Rolfe.
It's because he's
Garrett Rolfe who shot Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta. You have a DA who charged him with felony murder. Do you know what felony murder is, folks? You know what felony murder is? Felony murder is when murder is tacked on to a crime already occurring in process. A felony is already taking place. It's already in process. Like armed robbery goes wrong, right? You're just planning on robbing a bank. You're not planning on shooting anybody, but and then you end up shooting some. That's felony murder. Please do tell me what fucking felony that officer was committing before he fired his gun on somebody who had stolen his taser, beaten the crap out of him, and then tried to shoot him with it. Oh, that's right. I guess the felony would be trying to cuff the man who's a serial felon who abused his own children, Rayshard Brooks, a serial felon, child abuser, and false imprisonment, likely kidnapper. I don't know the exact charges, but you can look at his rap sheet, and was going to go back to jail for a long time. Remember I made that bet with Stacey Abrams on Twitter? How much do you want to bet that this has nothing to do with a DUI, has to do with a rap sheet that would make a DUI more severe, which, by the way, are the most dangerous pullovers that often happen with cops. Someone doesn't want to go back to the clink, they have nothing to lose. So I guess the officer's felony was arresting a man who was putting everyone else in danger.
The system is broken or something.
Is that it? I guess the officer's felony was conducting a field sobriety test.
Because they didn't do that
by the way, didn't pull over into a Wendy's
that's what you call a field sobriety test.
Man, I have had too much to drink, and I'm going to do No, he fell asleep in the drive-through line.
He wasn't in the drive-through line.
It took 2 officers to wake him up. Is that the felony murder?
That he was.
And by the way, here's something else. What do you think happens if you watch that video and there's only one officer? Which is the case most of the time. One of them got spiked on his head, punched in the face, a taser stolen,
that he was
used against him, and they didn't just shoot him. Sorry, my mom's getting tired. I apologize for this,
so
but
I'm not
really.
Making that assumption. I can only make an assumption on what I saw in the video.
I look like
what
crap.
I saw in
the
video
morning. I apologize,
is that
but
officer
not really do the show tonight, but I brush my hair.
Once or twice,
spiked
that
an officer
van in
on
the
his
back.
head, beat
That's
the
what I
shit
saw.
out of them, stole a taser. And they didn't shoot him while he was running away. They only shot him once he turned to aim a taser.
As they
I guess the felony, according to the DA,
how much you motherfucking cops care?
Using
your
a
man,
taser.
Steven Crowder.
Sorry.
Your dude, Steven Crowder.
No, there is no felony.
People look up to and shit.
Because the DA said that the officer could not be in fear of serious bodily injury at that point. When 2 weeks earlier, the DA said that a taser is a deadly weapon.
Not because they protect and serve, because they protect and serve him. Because he can pay them off.
This is a line in the sand, and I feel, and I will tell you, and I would love to... Tell me what you think we should do. I would love to start maybe a GoFundMe. We would need many, many tens of millions of so every cop who wants to walk off the force at this point can do
Everything
so.
he don't pay,
and we can take
we
care of
got
him, and I'm sure my lawyer's not going to be happy that I even suggested
And it
that.
ain't
Don't
just
worry, I
that.
haven't started the GoFundMe.
It's the Candace
I do the
Owens.
show, we reach millions of people every single show,
All these
and I
political
feel like it's not enough.
affiliates
Because we
for
are at a
whom
point in
you
our
serve
country right now,
your
you can only
protection
line
for
up three
themselves,
ways. Okay? You either believe
for the
that
interest
the officer
of everybody's
who shot the man, beat the
interest,
shit out of him, and stole his taser, and
and
aimed it at him.
not to
Serial
be
felon, guy who
neglectful
abused
about
children.
Der Fuhrer.
You believe that the officer should be put to death
Who wants
because
to
that's the penalty, okay, potentially for felony murder in Georgia. So you either A,
Yeah, I
believe
think
that Officer
Steven Crowder
Wolf
is
should be
scared
put
that a lot
to
of shit's
death,
about
should
to
be
change.
executed, B, believe that this is completely impermissible, or C, you're a coward and you're just as bad as B. And you know what? This is something people want to come after me and sue me. Okay, I let everyone on my team know here at Louder with Crowder. I said, if you don't pick B, if you don't say that this is impermissible, cowardice is not tolerated on this team. I will provide you with generous severance. There's the door.
Fight me, whore.
We're not at a point in this country where remaining neutral is a possibility. And you know what bothers me more than the leftists out there who've been very smart strategically is, first off, Donald Trump, when are you going to do something? When are you going to stop the boot licking?
Look at him crying to his dad.
Something
Please,
here.
Mr.
There
Trump,
are
help
parts
me.
of cities being taken over
They coming
against
after
people's
us.
will.
What
What
Trump
have
gonna do?
Republicans
Like, no,
done?
man, I'm protected.
Unless there were riots before Donald Trump, and that's a big
You gotta
reason
remember,
Donald Trump was
president is
elected.
federal.
And
You
now
talking to
Republicans aren't doing
state shit.
shit.
Talking about police.
And if you don't start picking it up, you do not deserve our vote. Sorry, MAGA crowd. Sorry,
If he was
okay
literate
crowd.
about law,
He's not my
in any
king.
interest of
okay?
that.
I think the guy's done a lot of good work, but I am so disappointed in this administration. I am
If
so
this
disappointed in
motherfucker
Republicans.
wasn't nothing
I don't
more
even
than a
know that my
fad,
vote
then
makes
maybe
that
he would be
much of a
understanding
difference at this
about
point.
law and how
And
law
unless you are
works.
going
But
out there
obviously, Steven
and
Crowder
championing the
isn't
cause
under
of people who have the right to
understanding
defend themselves.
and
Because
of
right
the
now,
derivatives of
you can't have an immigrant
what
watch.
is
We know
law
that. That's not
enforcement
allowed.
and
You
what
can't call
is
the
the
cops 'cause they
policy
can't do anything. Cops can't have guns.
of
We don't
law
want that.
enforcement.
Cops can't use chokeholds, even
Like,
though if a
I
cop
don't
can use
know.
chokeholds
Almost
properly,
like Steven
everyone
Crowder
in
should probably
conflict
shut the
would
fuck
still be
up
alive. And now
about
a taser
certain terms.
is a deadly weapon if an officer has
So
it, but if it's used against an officer, it's not, and he'll be put on death fucking row.
Good.
Republicans, in this state, you need to make it clear that Americans have the right to defend their homes and property and their loved ones, or you don't deserve our vote.
You don't deserve to vote. Said it
Felony murder.
yourself.
Imagine that's your dad. Or mom,
My dad can't become a
if
cop.
they lowered the PT requirements. Imagine. What really bothers me is Republicans and all of these Christians who don't get mad. Like there was never a time that Jesus threw over some tables at the temple.
Bitch, are you
It's
invoking
table tossing
Jesus?
Time.
Are you seriously talking about Jesus with the
What time is
prosecutor?
it? It's table tossing time because they're selling lattes in the place of worship.
Yeah, bet, bitch.
For crying out loud, you see these Christians, oh, it's just love. And you know what? Actually, this is true. I was planning on starting a day
You
of prayer
top his ass
in
looking
DC,
motherfucker.
where we kneel in prayer.
You beanie ass
and
wearing
stand to
motherfucker.
pledge, because no man should kneel to another man. As Christians, we don't believe in kneeling. That's deeply
That's
rooted in
a
our
lie.
history, both as Christians and Americans.
That's a whole
But
lie.
the prayer has changed. The prayer is no
You kneel
longer
to
for unity.
Jesus.
The prayer is for
And
safety
it depends on what type of
swift
Christian you are. He's
resolution.
being
Sorry, oh, you don't
facetious
take that wrong.
about his
Swift
interests
resolution
because it's funny to him.
right now. Anyone think it's table flipping time at this point? Felony murder? And is this conspiratorial? I look at it and go, God, there's no possible way this may... Unless they're trying to overcharge so that when these officers get off, which they inevitably
See
do,
that? Now
someone
overcharge.
intervenes
Now
here.
it's a time
Because
to
I don't
overcharge.
think any
First, we
person
can't
who's
charge
a
them
human
at
being
all.
with two brain
Now
cells
we're
to rub together wants
overcharging them.
this officer to be
Almost
put
as
to
if we
death.
needed that precedent
Then there'll be more
beforehand. And now
Then
you're
you'll get more
playing on the fact
No justice, no
that, in
peace.
fact,
You're
that
right.
we don't
No
have a
justice, no
precedent
peace.
for
No justice, no peace.
arraigning
You don't
officers
get to
of
put
the
a
law.
cop on death
That's
row
fucked up.
For firing a firearm
How
at
dumb
a
he
drunken
is.
serial violent felon child abuser who beat their asses, stole their weapon, and used it against them. That's right. This is the grit. And am I saying this is a worse travesty injustice with George Floyd? Oh no. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
sure
You know why?
would.
Because everyone agreed that the cop needed to be punished for George Floyd. Manslaughter? Great. Then they overcharged. Move up the murder charges. Don't know if that can stick. Don't know if you can prove intent. Wonder why they did that. There was a moment that was taken where we were all in agreement that could have unified the country.
No, there wasn't. You
And it's
placated
been
about
crapped
it.
on.
Your side placated about that situation. You're fucking up, is what you're doing.
This is where
You're
we
fucking
are.
up.
And
You assumed that, people was going to be on your fucking side about everything.
Because black men
You
are being hunted
asserted
down
that
in the
your
streets.
value
No,
was more so
no,
than ours,
no,
and now you're
never
seeing
did
that that's not the case.
Talk about
It's
that
pissing
because
you
some of the
off.
headlines coming next week.
Say that.
That, 9 unarmed black guys were shot by officers last year. How many white guys? 19. People are, yeah, but they make up only about 10 to 15% of the population. But, that's true. Well, they commit 60% of the homicides, black Americans.
That's a euphemism.
Young black males are 37 times more likely. This might be banned because it's FBI crime statistics, but let me be really clear.
It's not an FBI crime
Not
statistic. It's
making
an
it a
FBI
racial
crime statistic
thing.
from 2009.
Not making it a racial supremacy thing. Making it an accurate statistics thing because you said Black Lives Matter. People look around and go, oh my God,
considerate
violent riot, look at
about
4
facts.
people killed in these violent riots and losing over $25 million.
You want to be associated with the prospect of taking down Black Lives Matter without competing with Black Lives Matter. Well,
you know what's going to happen? People will say,
right here, right now,
all this shit
we
is
see
because
you
of Black
for the
Lives
crying
Matter.
little
And
bitch baby you
congratulations,
are.
YouTube and Big Tech,
And I
in
can't wait
censoring the
until
message.
somebody gives me
You've
the
now
opportunity
created more
to say that
racists.
shit to
You're so
your
busy
face.
trying to censor, what is it, Zero Hedge and the Federalist comment section, and featuring Takashi69, who uses the N-word repeatedly, despite not being black.
You're
and
not
a
black
talentless
either. Don't
piece of
say
shit
N-word.
Who sexually abused a minor, physically abused
It's our word.
for years, and racketeering, choked a guy. Anyway, the point is that's featured on the YouTube trending list, right? YouTube's really clear about their priorities.
Yeah, and so is your ass.
Congratulations,
So what are
YouTube,
you
Twitter,
talking
Facebook.
about?
You've created the
You're
extremists
trending.
at this point.
You're always trending though.
Because
That's
people like
nothing
me for
new
one
for
say,
you.
no, it's not a black white thing.
That's
Black
an
lives
expectation
matter.
for
Black
you.
lives matter. Hold on a second. Let's talk
You know what I
about
mean?
all
Almost
that's
as if
racist.
it is a
That's
privilege
racist. Hold on a second. This
to be
officer's
known
felony murder.
on
Felony
these
murder. Put him on
websites.
death row because
I
officers
wonder
are
why
hunting
somebody
down black
would
men
want
and
to
killing them in the
curtail
streets,
your
despite the fact that there's a
association
higher
with that
percentage
when
of
you
police
don't
officers who are black
equivocate
than the general
facts
percentage of the
to
population
be
of America.
of your
And it's really hard to find
association
statistics based on
and
on
be
racism
willing to
crime
fire
statistics because
people
they only do it in
on
public
that
when they
association.
use it
That
for
sounds
black
like
people's
discrimination to
status. And I
me.
mean that when they say
Damn paying
officers are hunting
motherfuckers.
down black
I
people in
think
the streets.
I
and killing
think
them. And
motherfuckers
you can hear
should
that
hold for a
exact
lawsuit
phrase
on
from
my
Young
part.
Turks.
If it was
Hear that
me,
exact
I'd be
phrase
saying fuck that
from
pay.
Gunman.
Give
Okay.
me your channel.
Now, if people believe that, every single American should
Because
be
that
outraged.
seems kind of
If people believe that officers
really,
are hunting down
really,
people solely
really,
because they're
really,
black in the streets and killing them, but that is not
like
happening.
a threat.
So,
And I
in
think
trying
the
to
Better
combine all these
Business
statistics
Bureau would
regarding
have something to
homicide
say
and
about that,
homicides,
Mr. Crowder.
which occur between races, how many officers died per year, how many officers died at the hands of black men. Do you know how much more likely an officer is to be killed by a black criminal than to shoot or kill an unarmed black man? 18 and a half times.
Those numbers are what we recorded.
18 and a half times
You know,
more
for
likely to be
Steven
shot.
Crowder knows for a fact that every single statistic
black
on the
man,
books
a
right
criminal.
now about black people has been
during
purely
apprehension
usurped
than he is to kill an unarmed
by
black
the
man.
numeral of factors by which we cannot
And you know what?
assume at the moment.
I've always tried to be this voice, but here's the truth, guys. And I'll be talking about YouTube a whole lot
Bullshit,
more because
and I
there's been
can't
a lot
wait.
of conversations
I
behind
can't
the
wait
scenes. Isn't
to
that
get
right,
this
YouTube?
motherfucker
But I made it
in
very
my
clear that
teeth.
my views on immigration
I
that it's
swear.
about ideas and values. And the naturalization oath, regardless. I've said, right, that I would much rather have, for example, a Honduran or a Cuban American patriot
of what he
who
just
comes
said.
here and loves the United
Oh,
States
look
and what
at
it's
me.
about.
I've been
than
blah, blah, blah,
a
blah.
Swedish
So that makes
immigrant or
everything
German
I
immigrant
said
who wants to come
okay.
here
Because,
and
you know
vote
what I mean? I
socially.
wasn't speaking
Well, that's
to
not
black
acceptable
people
viewpoint.
specifically. I was just speaking to the
YouTube.
Republicans,
That's
right?
borderline content. Where do you think people go?
He's a whore.
When this video is seen as borderline content,
they're all
YouTube,
whores.
where do you think people go? It's not Ben Shapiro or myself sending people down an alt-right rabbit hole. It's you saying that these views, which are entirely statistically substantiated, are extremist views.
I will rip they shit
And I
to
always try to do.
shreds.
The reason I say that is, sorry, it's a little bit free
And it
flow right
starts
now.
to
We do
end
the
with
show
this
tonight with John
motherfucker,
Malloy.
though.
We'll be talking about chokeholds.
It's what I've
Spoiler
been
alert,
saying.
Big fan. Especially now, more chokeholds.
Fuck
Chokeholds,
this
Trevor.
dude.
You get a chokehold, and you get
In
a chokehold,
particular.
and then you get a chokehold.
I wanna see him try to
Everybody
choke
gets a
me out.
chokehold because we can't use tasers.
Right.
So,
Try me. Fucking try me. You 215 pounds? You should survive too.
people used to say when Barack
You
Obama
ain't
was
King
president,
Star. I'll
there
take
goes
you
our
both.
country. Now it's, you know what? Listen, no.
Check out
you get some bad
my.
guys,
Just take
you get
on
some
that
good guys. The
motherfucker.
good thing is we have checks and balances in this country, and we can fix it.
Probably in the description down below.
When people talked about
But
there's
I
going to be an
don't
armed
know.
revolution, I would say,
I
no,
don't
no, but
fucking
you know
know.
what?
How much more money?
let
We
me be
got.
really clear,
We
you
ain't
two.
even halfway through this
I'm
fucking
not telling
video.
people to go out there and shoot people in the streets.
You are.
But for the first time in my life, I think a civil war is very possible. And let me explain to you why. Because it is not an
If a civil war is possible,
Okay,
you
let me
ain't
frame this
fucking
in example.
fighting.
Let's talk about
You ain't
jazz.
getting the fuck up.
Jazz.
Shut the fuck up about a fight you ain't
jazz,
about.
Right, with that
See, this is my problem. You always talking about some shit. These motherfuckers and people like him always talk about shit they ain't about to getting into. They ain't about fighting this. They ain't about picking up guns. They know everything about guns. They want to protect people's gun rights so that they can be protected. They ain't about shooting for you.
By the way, leaders with no election.
Fuck him.
Enforcement police with no accountability. No freedom of
And
the
that
press.
goes for anybody.
No free speech
It's
allowed.
motherfuckers
Jazz.
like this
That's
that fuck up the game for everybody.
Utopia. Jazz. Where's Bernie?
Because he just talked flat out his ass.
Where's the democratic
Look at him.
socialism?
He already
Where's the democratic
done.
socialism when people are getting shaken down?
He ain't got nothing left. He ain't got no
It's a summer of
offers
love.
for
Tell us the
you.
business owners there. So let's look at that. Chaz, let me ask you this.
He ain't
I thought
saving
that we were at a
you.
point in our
Look
country
at this. He retorting the
that we could have a
same
civil war.
bullshit. The same parabolic bullshit.
Or that it would, of course,
They
that would be
said
appropriate.
last
I'm not
week
even saying
about
the civil war
another
would be
shit.
appropriate now, but I will
Because
say
he's
this.
got nothing left.
Felony murder.
This man has nothing to
And when you
offer
have a
you.
place like
I
Chaz,
repeat, please
start
stop
shouting out
watching
because
me.
they're pussies and they understood that calling it Chaz
He's a
an autonomous
whore.
zone actually makes it illegal.
And he only calls people out knowing full well they won't hit him in the fucking face. Because he's a pussy. But he likes calling people pussies because he knows who to call a pussy
Communist
and not get hit about.
anti-American insurrection that was not elected, that is basically now taking over a portion of what is supposed to be free America against
What's free America?
President
Free for
will,
who? Free for white people,
who are
right?
silenced and intimidated.
Free for
into not
your
speaking
white
out.
people to
And
choose
they're
and pick
protecting
who
this
the
zone
fuck has
with
enough
guns.
to pick and be in there, right?
They have
Who
taken
goes
over
to
an
your
area of the city,
schools?
and they
Who
are
goes to
protecting
your
it with
community
guns.
centers?
Would it be an irrational
who
response
fucking belongs, right?
for
Who belongs
American
in your
citizens
gate?
to take back that portion of
Go
their city with guns
fuck yourself.
when the police won't do anything? Not saying they should. I'm not advocating it. But once upon a
I'll
time, we
shoot.
looked at that and said, "Well,
And you
come on,
too.
guys, let's have
We're not the ones who need protection. You are.
an equitable arrangement. There should be a response that's tantamount to."
We know where to
What
get
is
the
equal
shit.
to that?
You the one got the problems. Don't
It's
make
equal
our
force.
problems
When a
your
city is
problems
taken over
because
by
you
people
can't
protected
trust
with guns, it has
your
to be
supply chain.
take it or take it back with guns. Let me ask you this: what if it's your neighborhood? Let's say right now. I know a lot of you are smart enough to not
Shout
live
out
in big
to
cities
Bmore.
anymore, despite the fact that the left
Body more
wants to
murder
put us in
line.
big cities and put us in public transit. I wrote about that at Fox News 9 years ago and said it was crazy. Let's say it's your neighborhood and you're going home tonight. I have a wife who's
I'm
sick.
safe.
Some people know that if you follow
I'm
me on
known around my
Instagram or
parts.
social media. She
People
had
know me.
GBS and she's
How about
gonna
you?
walk fine eventually.
You can't walk through every hood in
But it raises my
Houston
antenna.
and
So
be
let's say
safe.
it's your neighborhood and you're trying to
That's
get
on
home.
you. You don't talk to them
Today.
people. You don't want to be around them
your
people.
house that you've paid
That's on fucking you for
And you
not
can't. There's
conversating
a
with them
barricade
and not
with
meeting
some
with them
pussy
on their
in a
terms
mask
and always waiting
and
for
some
you
buddies with AR-15s
your
who tell you that you need to present
interest
identification.
to be
and maybe in
involved.
that neighborhood is your business.
You had
You've got to pay a fee.
10 years
Your
to
little
talk
poll
about
tax
Black
for
Matter
Antifa-Dimmy
and
Jew.
how much Black
Let's say it's
Lives
your
Matter
neighborhood.
to you. You spent those
Your
10
entire
years
neighborhood.
fucking
Put it on a
around
barricade.
and associating
now it's been
with
taken
people
over
like
by the
Ben
extremists
Shapiro
like Chad.
and Alex
seen the
Jones
results of Chad?
and
Go
being
watch the videos. It looks like he's
synonymous
brilliant.
with associating yourself
Not
with
only businesses, but
bullying
residences
gay
have been
people
ransacked.
and antagonizing black people.
would you
Go
do?
fuck yourself.
What would you do?
Now you want to be involved? All of a sudden
Damn it.
your boys are getting hit? Now
that make
all
you
of
an
a sudden it's a
extremist?
problem for you? No, shut the fuck up
Does
like
that
you
make
shut
you
the
an
fuck up
extremist?
about
It is
our
your
problems.
neighborhood that has been taken over without a vote against your will, and the government, your mayor and your governor, have made it clear
Cool, Larry Hogan?
there's no cavalry coming over that hill. And for you to enter
The
your own house, you have
Republican?
to go past a guy
Or
with
you
an
mean,
AR-15 who is demanding complete
Mr.
defunding
Young?
of police. What would you do?
Jack Young, the Democrat, because they both share, you know what I mean, things that
telling
you
you.
hate and love about both parties.
Just like I said,
Matter
please
of fact,
stop
they're
the
probably
riots.
one of your
Please
best
stop.
interests.
This is not going to
by
be good.
that.
When you want
How come you
every
never bring them
reaction
motherfuckers
equal
up?
and opposite reaction. And I used to say I really don't think
I
there's any
wonder
risk
why.
of a civil war because, listen, Obamacare,
They always flat a whore.
terrible, awful, come from Canadian healthcare. You can watch my video, you can watch the history that I've had with healthcare, and I've fought against it. But an equal and opposite reaction wouldn't be to take over cities with guns. That's what I have referred to as militia extremists, and I still stand by that. But I don't think you're a militia extremist when people have taken over your city with guns if you respond with an equal and opposite reaction in
So what
your,
about all the real
with
estate black
your
people used to
own
own
property?
in the
Especially when now we've made it clear that the people
Let's just go back
who
that
pay,
far. We
who
don't
our
have to go
tax
back
dollars
all
pay
the
to
way
protect us
1833.
can't even
1910.
try and do their
You
job
gonna
in the
get
face of a
that shit
serial
back
violent
without
felon,
a gun?
violently assaulted two of them, stolen
all right
their weapon
then.
and used it against them without fear of being put on death row.
We would definitely be put on death row. Piss
You
yourself.
either believe that this officer deserves death. Well, no, I think he should be punished, but that's not the charge.
Piss
That's not the
yourself.
charge. Death penalty? This is impermissible. This is a line in the sand, or you're a coward. And any Christian out there who wants to do the agape bullshit, don't put on my team jersey. Because you know what? If you do that, you don't speak a good man. Maybe he's a jackass. We don't know. But there's no way. I would bet that he was a really bad cop. There's bad history. I know now they're trying to say, oh, he kicked a man when he was dead and while he was down. But how much do you... Here, I'll place another bet. How much do you want to bet that's not true? How much do you want to bet? Just like I said, when they pulled over, Ray, well, they didn't pull him over. He went, like Homer Simpson, and they found him in a Wendy's drive-through line. He wasn't pulled over. They had to jostle him up. More crack? I don't even remember what I was going to say. I'm getting so angry about
Yeah, I bet you don't fucking know what you're saying. Say that. Say that shit more.
a good man, potentially. Oh yeah, I was saying that how much you want to, just like I said, there was more to the story than just some guy pulled into a Wendy's parking lot peacefully and he was
Please
shot
like,
by
share, and
cops.
subscribe.
No. And then I saw the arrest. I was like, oh, how much do you want to bet there's more to this than a DUI? He was probably going back to the clink for a long time. Turns out he was a child abuser and I think might have only been out on coronavirus. Just like Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? Yeah. Like Piggy from Lord of the Flies. All of a sudden you're in prison, you're bored, and then it's, oh, I can get out from coronavirus? My asthma! You hear it, right? My
Because
asthma!
that's
I
synonymous
would like to
with
be free to
Black
go to
Lives
beat my
Matter.
kids more.
And that's the point that we talking about.
Just like I said, there was more to that story. No one agreed to that bet, and I did. I bet with Stacey Abrams. My
That's why the
entire
story got
social
picked
media
up,
platform,
and that's
YouTube, Facebook,
what you
Twitter,
can
Instagram, mailing list,
assert
all of it. I said I will bet that
value of this
against your
fucking
candidacy
Go fuck yourself.
that he had priors.
He had priors. I don't have
Who wants
priors.
to take
If I
the bet?
shoot
Any
you
elected
in
official,
broad
Democrat, any
daylight, I
elected
hope somebody would
DA?
still charge me.
Abrams, bet here.
Or maybe not so much. I don't
The
give
story
a
that you're
fuck.
pushing is not accurate. That he kicked a man while he was down and just said, ha ha ha, I got me one.
Guess who don't believe that? Steven Crowder.
And refused to provide medical care. How much you want to bet that? Otherwise, just release that tape. You have tape everything else. Why don't you release it? Back to my point. I do have to wrap this up. We have a show. Gosh, it's 23 minutes. I'm sorry. Sorry, listen, maybe this means something, maybe it doesn't. I had to get this off my chest. I don't know if anyone else, this is a very different feeling from, this is
it just
different from
means that
any
you're just as
other
much of a pussy as the people you like to call pussies. And maybe you need to stop doing
in the
that.
history of this country for me.
Because you should relate more to them
They're
than
about to
you
put-
would to people for whom would call them
Of course, the charges
pussies.
probably won't
Pussy.
stick, but if they had their way, would put an officer, a man, who by all information we have now, that could change, a good man on death row to appease a mob of bad men. Republicans, you've let us down. Christians,
His daughter
the church, where's the
didn't
church?
deserve to see him
You
on her
guys,
birthday.
while there are riots in the streets,
That's how bad a
$25
man
million
he
in
was.
property damage in Minneapolis alone. At least hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in damages and repairs across
Note
this
that the
country
motherfucker over
from
the
riots.
past 20 minutes
And
didn't
pastors
note
won't even,
that shit.
pastors in many states won't even hold services in their own congregations.
Yeah, it was his baby girl birthday.
Pussies.
She was waiting for him to take her skating.
And this doesn't come from a place of hate. It comes from a place
That's
of
how
righteous
bad
anger.
a dude
It is
this
time to start
motherfucker
flipping
was.
some
That's how
tables.
much he deserved them bullets in the
People
fucking
need to
back.
start
To
earning
Steven
our support.
Crowder and the rest of his fucking crowd.
And to the agape Christians right now,
But
who think that
are
it's
they
the
willing
righteous
to
thing do
fight
stand
on
by
any
and go,
platform that,
I'm gonna go in
you
my
know what I
prayer
mean,
closet and
asserts
just
a value
pray
of
for you-
equality
just pray for
in
healing
that?
for this country
Fuck
right now.
no.
You could speak out.
Why? Because
When
they
a
like
man
being
could be
right.
put to death to appease a mob of violent people. You are not righteous. You
They are
not doing the right
localizing
thing.
your
You are a
thoughts, your
coward.
feelings, and your movements
And if the jazz
on their own terms
situation
and their own
happens
monikers,
across
their
the country,
own monetization.
maybe in your cities of Los
And
Angeles,
you allow
maybe
it.
you could pick any big city.
It's based on
Guess what? I will love you.
Incorporated. We'll be
I
here
will
to
pray
fight.
for you. But you will knock on that door that is.
And I guarantee you, I can make a profit off that shit.
And neither should any other American.
At me, boy. We still got a minute and a half left, and I'm not nearly hoarse.
The left is trying to say silence is murder. Silence is murder. Well, hold on, I'm just not being silent because you're like an officer is 18 times more likely to be killed by a black man than to shoot a black. Like I just don't think that. I think the problem is we need police reform. I just don't think that black people are being hunted. Like I don't think Rayshard Brooks is being hunted. Silence is murder. But I will tell you this right now: when a man is sentenced to death for doing his job, even if imperfectly, and when you have cities in the United States of America that have been overtaken and are being guarded by communists with guns, silence is cowardice. Silence is consent.
Should have said that about Black Lives Matter and about Kaepernick kneeling.
includes
You wouldn't have had to deal with
Senators,
this.
congressmen,
Now
media
we gotta
members,
deal with
presidents,
this.
and people watching this video, Mug Club subscribers.
You and your side had opportunities at
Choose
such
to be
a thing,
silent. I love
and
you.
you chose to
I
mock.
pray for you. But I
Now
don't
you
want
mad
you.
motherfuckers getting shot in the streets.
And if
That's on you. That's
the
on
shit
your
goes
group.
down,
Maybe you should say something to them. Maybe you should mock
none
them
the
instead
people
of
who
us.
were vocal, who did the right thing, owe you any protection.
Eat
All
a
right, I'll see
dick.
you tonight, Jocko Willens.
Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, yo. Love you all. Stay safe. Be well. And don't sell nothing you looted. I mean, sell everything you looted. Don't plug nothing in.